Good evening, everyone. You please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call the meeting to order at this time. Under the Sunshine Law, the Runnemede Board of Education meeting is called to order. The Board of Education is in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 entitled the Open Public Meeting Act. The time, date, and location of this meeting was appropriately advertised by notifying the retrospect as well as posting notices in the Borough Hall, Runnemede Post Office, Mary Bolt School, Aileen Bingham School, and Grace Downing School, and the Runnemede Public School District website. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dare?
Here.
Ms. Anderson? Ms. Beebe?
Here.
Mr. Buckheim?
Here.
Ms. Davidson?
Here.
Ms. Farry? Mr. Impagliazzo?
Here.
Ms. Panzarella?
Here.
Ms. Spalding? We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. And also present is our superintendent, Mr. Iannucci, Dr. McCarron, Ms. Yazzie, Mr. Healy, and Mr. Silva here? No, he's not here. Okay. And Mr. Hines, thank you very much for being here.
And Ms. Hubbard.
And Mrs. Hubbard. Thank you. Thank you. Any nomination or motions for approval of the minutes, please?
We'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Patty?
A second.
Great.
Any questions? Mrs. Dare?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckheim?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
I've seen as absent.
Mr. Impagliazzo? Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Do we have any motions on the financial report at this time?
I make a motion.
Right?
I'll second.
Patty? She said everybody.
I have Marie with the motion and Patty with the second. Any questions? Mrs. Dare?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckheim?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Impagliazzo? Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we have a presentation by Mrs. Greenwood.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Greenwood. I'm the TLC teacher both at Bingham and Downing School. We have been working on coding. It started with an hour of code. This is our second year participating in the hour of code. Code.org is an organization that is trying to push students starting younger to learn how to code so it's not so intimidating, and they look at it as an option when they get older into the high school and college. So this year their goal was 10,000 students. They reached 15,000. So I put a little presentation together, a little video of our kids coding and playing with our finches. This is what we get to at the end. They're donated on loan to us from Stockton State College. Mrs. Michelle Wendt allows the kids to use these. So I hope you get And this is our second graders that I know.
Well, if it's fairly simple, why aren't there more of us doing it? Over the next 10 years, there will be 1.4 million jobs in computer science, and only about 400,000 grads qualify for those jobs. That's a shortage of 1 million people. So, how do you start?
Hannah, do you like coding? What do you like about coding? Jake, what do you like about coding?
I like coloring the thing.
Adriana, what do you like about coding?
We get to play with the finches.
Nate, what do you like about coding?
I like that the finches will be those
Finch's nose
We
flow.
designed the code at our courses to feel like a game. You're writing simple code to solve puzzles to get to the next level. And these puzzles even use real game characters like Angry Birds. And the programming uses visual blocks instead of typing, which is how introductory programming is taught at leading universities these days, because it's easier for the kids to get started.
So Brayden, can you tell us what you like about coding?
I like that you're able to like take stuff and move, control stuff. No.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
So Devin, what do you like about coding?
That you get to make things and you get to make them do stuff and it's really fun.
This is the Minecraft, which they all love.
So Caitlin, can you tell us what you like about coding?
I like coding because you get to choose which way your character runs and you get to make it go fast and slow.
So Noli, what do you like about programming?
You get to program your stuff and make it go wherever you want, and then if you do a mistake, you can figure it out. Figure that.
They have races with their finches to see who can make them move and
Now I want to make it move.
they miss their cue. Any questions?
I have a question. Sure. So basically, they're learning how to put a code into a computer to make this finch move?
Mm-hmm. The finch will move, the finch's nose glow, they put in different variables. The finch's nose, they have red, green, and blue, but they can put in red and green, red and blue to make purple, and they learn that, the different variables to put in to make the different shades and different colors. So they get to experiment with that, how fast it moves. They realize that they make one wheel slower than the other wheel, how it turns, and they figure out how it's going to turn. So if they're trying to get it around the corner, they can figure out, they have to change the variables around. So they work together, and it's pretty cool to see them. They're like, no, try 50. No, wait a minute, that's too fast. And so it's really awesome to see them working together.
And they're in second grade, I just want to point that out. It's like, we had to question what that is, and they're in second grade, exactly.
Come to my kindergartners, they're even amazing. And if you go on my website, if you ever want to try it out, go right to my website, and it says Hour of Code, and there's all different coding websites. It's great. We did Bitsbox, and it's like they get an iPad, and they get to do type-in. That's where we started typing in JavaScript. And the kids were actually finding settings that I didn't even see. They're like, oh, look, Miss Newman, I can change my iPad to a different color. So they really enjoy it, and they've learned so much. And I'm hoping that the problem-solving skills that they learn here, they bring over into math and help them to think logically when they're doing math problems and stuff.
Will the coding go into higher grade levels? Will it
Yes,
follow
Ms. Maytag also does the
become more
coding.
intricate, the coding?
Yes, and where they'll actually learn to write true JavaScript or C script and stuff like that.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Before we move on with the agenda, we also had a wonderful activity this Saturday here at Bolt School. It was the jump rope-a-thon, what I call, for the American Heart Association. And very important person who was intricate, a person that put this all together with the help of many teachers, but this was the leader of the pack. Caitlin, would you like to Get up there. Any comments?
Thank you. Turned out to be, a lot of people on a Saturday, a lot of sports events, other fundraiser events going on. So I think we had like about 200 people. 180 actually signed in, but I'm hoping that there's extra fun, we're just kind of wandering around. And it was great. I think the kids just kind of really, I know a lot of people last year, the number of what we raised, it was like it was a little over $10,000. And this year, of course, it would be great to hit that and even like surpass it. But I think most of all, I think the kids understand more about giving back and working together. I know I had sent out an email just like congratulating the third grade teachers at Bingham. I mean, for having the kids like kind of make the crafts and then realize that they were selling them and donating all of that money to the American Heart Association. That to me is like worth more than any money, that we're gonna end up giving. So I think just overall with that, I'm just so pleased and so happy with how they've been responding to it. And just the whole community coming out and supporting it just means the world to me. It was exactly what I wanted. I just wanted all the families to come and have fun. The parents were out there with the kids jumping. So I appreciate all of you who, were able to come out. It was a great day. We had a lot of fun.
Thank you very much.
Enjoyed it.
Congratulations. At this time, we'd like to recognize any citizens. At this time, comments that are made is pertaining to agenda items only. Please state your name and your address if you have any comments at this time you'd like to make.
Since I'm here at Joan Greenwood, I just want to thank you for the new windows because they make such a difference in the classroom.
They do, they're so pretty.
People walk into my library and they're like, wow, what's different in here? It's because I don't have them shades and I have it like bright and wide open. So thank you very much for the new windows. We really appreciate them.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Greenwood. Mrs. Greenwood is also a board member in Mount Ephraim.
Yes, she is.
And Audubon.
And Audubon. So she's always a good person to speak to about things going on.
I like Miss Right, she doesn't know like Howard.
If there are no further comments,
I'm Maria.
we'll
Just tell
go
her
with
you met
the
Maria tonight.
board secretary supervisor report.
From the business side of things, currently we're in the process of the 16-17 school budget, which is always a very busy time of year. Board members have received tentative presentations along with the tentative budget at this point for your review. We will discuss the budget in more detail at the March meeting. However, you have those documents so that way you can at least get an idea of where we are with everything. We've also been in discussion with the Runnemede Borough. You'll see that on your agenda for this evening in regards to a shared service in the area of technology, where we will be providing technology support, which would be, regular help desk day-to-day support to the borough. That it does not include the police department or fire. That's just the borough as a whole, so it doesn't involve the other types of departments. Also, we are in the process in the next 2 weeks of having a full QSAC review, which is when the county office comes in and they review all aspects of our school district to see where our strengths and weaknesses are and to support us in any way that they possibly can. For curriculum, we're in full force with testing right now. While we haven't started part testing yet, special education testing has already started. Ms. Hubbard's been extremely helpful in making sure that her staff is prepared and that everything's being submitted and completed to the best of all of our abilities. And then just finalizing everything needed for QSAC, which they will be reviewing curriculum as one of the main components. As you know, when QSAC came in a few years back, the score that curriculum had was extremely low. Since then, we've updated all the curriculum guides and have brought it up over 50% to where it is today. So we're hoping to keep it there and see where we can get moving forward.
Thank you very much. Superintendent, sure.
I can speak this much, so that's good. We're up to 870 students district-wide, roughly 13, no, not roughly, 13 out of which we played this time. As Dr. McCarron said, we wrapped up some things in the past month or so with finalizing the recent details as far as getting all the comments. Let's see, that was the warranties.
Well, today would have probably produced any leak evidence.
That's why I laughed when I walked in, I told him, I looked at Angel, I was looking at the roof.
Yeah. Just like-
So, we're finalizing that, there's one or two things I know with the hatch in front of your office, I know Mr. Hines, still working on it, I believe, with
The ladder hatch needs to be addressed.
yeah, we're still working on that. As far as we're in pretty good shape with getting all that done, windows are in the final days, hopefully, of being installed. Today, like today, obviously, window days can't work because it's raining, not only sideways, but vertically, horizontally, as well as something else. So hopefully we'll be wrapping that up soon, we can get those tractor trailers offset and bring them, and get back to normal. We did have a full day professional development on the 12th. As you can see, the screen has a lot of things going with technology. A lot of the things are based on technology as far as integrating that to elementary level, as well as giving them some more training in the Google platform. Mrs. Epstein did a great job with the middle school, fourth and fifth grade teachers here. Some very high engagement activities, on-demand writing instruction. She's been working very hard with those teachers this year and doing a good job. As far as myself, roundtable, long major discussion was, talking about NCLB, the getting more acronyms to remember, so now it's revamped to every child achieves that, which was in 2015. So you see that term come across your plates, known as NCLB, as well as comprehensive equity plan, which is always due April 1st, just to make sure you're compliant with things such as civil equity quality requirements, Civil Rights Act, Title IX, IDA, and things like that. So you'll have that submitted. Budget preparation, as Dr. McCarron talked about. We'll have that on. I suggest take a look at that maybe over the next couple of weeks. 18-minute?
18-minute presentation.
18 minutes of hearing Dr. McCarron talk is always a good thing. You can pause it. You can pause it if you want to chunk it. We're entitled to do that. Some student activities took place. Mr. Cook can talk at the end, but they had a great father-daughter dance. I believe they did on Friday night, correct?
Yeah.
Nice turnout. Very special. We also had a pep rally for the girls and boys basketball teams for the playoffs. The kids seemed to enjoy that in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And then today I know you had a assembly here at Bolts. Sure.
So we had a guy, his name is David Flood, that organized it. He came in, he actually spent the whole day here. He did 2 assemblies. First period did 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then second period did 4th and 5th. He told a story about, it's a true story, he's got a teenage son with autism, and he talked about the parent side of that student coming home, talking about not having friends, eating lunch alone, and some of the trials he and his family went through, experiencing that. He delivered a powerful message. He gave the kids 3 goals throughout the day. The first one was to thank 2 adults in the building. It was pretty neat because he just didn't focus on teachers. He said thank, he talked about how some of the most important people in the school are the custodians and secretaries. So he asked that every child thank 2 adults for something. He asked that look someone in the eye and say something nice, like look at them directly in the eye. I don't know if he really meant this. He said look at it for, you're supposed to look for 9 seconds. I find that kind of awkward, but wow. But that was the second task, and then the third task was that no one's allowed to sit alone at lunch today. So if there was someone sitting alone at lunch, that you were to include them. He went into classrooms 4th and 5th grade in the morning. He attended all 3 lunch periods and moved around the tables and spoke with kids. And then he did some middle school visits to classrooms in the afternoon. So the neat thing was that it wasn't just like a one and done, like he presented, he's out of here. He presented his message and then he kind of followed up with it throughout the day. So I think it resonated with kids. So it was pretty well received.
Thanks. As far as we're trying to wrap up scheduling for the pilot for the boys baseball and girls softball teams are going to start up. Information we sent out tomorrow to the students regarding getting physical forms in when they're going to start. Typically at this age level in middle school, practices usually begin around the first full week of March. We're probably going to start roughly around that date. Right now we're looking at probably 6 or 7 games at least for the kids to partake in. The league that some of the local schools play around, they usually play about 10 league games during the year. As I told you before, before, we're not in the league this year, we're on the non-league, playing non-league schedule. For baseball, it's not as easy to get the games because the pitch counts for pitchers and catchers now. Some schools don't want to have too many extra games because they don't have as much pitching to go around. For softball, it's a little different. It's a different motion, so obviously they can throw as much as they want. I'll wrap up that schedule. I'm doing that myself. Some of the contacts I've made over the years. I already have locked in 6 games for each team. I have about 8 or 9 different schools getting back.
Are they local schools?
Most of them are local. Some might be a little bit of a bus trip, but nothing.
Yeah, but even though,
Like
even though they
Medford,
can't leave, they are.
Medford might be one of the farthest trips we have to do, which, it shouldn't be too bad. Other schools have been well with that. We are, we do have looking for coaches and posted. We do have some interest at the school level. With them, we'll probably assign those positions before our next meeting. A district employee can begin to coach a team without board approval, so to speak. As long as they're a district employee, they can conduct. As the policy says, any teaching staff member and the employee of the Board of Education will be permitted to organize public school students for the purpose of coaching or conducting games, events, contests, and physical education.
It's the same board member.
We're covered there.
I'm going out coaching these kids,
We're covered
watching
there.
them.
Well,
Coming
we will
out
have
of
those names,
retirement.
we will have those names at the May 15th meeting.
Baseball,
So
not
it'll be about a week after that, if that's okay with everybody. Upcoming events for the PTA, I'm sure we're going to talk about it. We do have the Founder's Day dinner tomorrow night at the Cove Restaurant in Audubon, beginning at 5:30, right?
I have a question. Isn't that right on Atlantic Avenue, just so I know where I'm going? I think it's on Atlantic Avenue,
Yeah.
it's on like Kings Highway in Atlantic. Is that-
What's the
No.
one over down
A
past?
little further down?
Nicholson?
Nicholson Road and
And
Atlantic.
Atlantic, thank you, okay.
What time is that over, Mrs. Wilson?
Over? Still not getting done.
Well, I'm just asking because I missed work tonight, but I was gonna maybe come at 8 if you guys are think you're still be here.
Yeah. 5:30 to 6:30 is open cocktail hour.
Okay, all right, great.
And then we won't start dinner till almost 7.
Okay,
6:45.
I'll call.
Yeah.
And then we also have the Cannon County School Board's 8th grade dialogue we're hosting here at Volts. It's at March 9th at 6 p.m. That's going to be a dinner and dessert event. Black Horse Pike will be catering the affair. To help out with that.
Do you wanna go to that, Pat?
Talk about,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What?
Did you wanna go to that 8th grade dialogue?
Yes.
Okay,
I
because,
think you sent me it. I have-
okay, because there's only 3 here.
Am I able to go or is it?
That's the only ones that I've registered so far.
Well, I'll be in Disney, sorry.
I won't be, I go.
Yeah. If you like to take them, we're welcome to do that.
Unless Samantha wants to take me this out.
You can take mine.
Members can go, we're just trying to, again, for numbers wise, with the cafeteria, we have to watch how many people,
Oh, I
or get the
understand.
number closer to the date. If we have too many people, we obviously move it back into the gym area. We're more conducive to the staging area, have it in the cafeteria, plus we can serve food more easily using the cafeteria.
I thought the paper said 5:30 to 6:30. I'm just saying, I don't know.
It might, you know what, it might be. I think I did have a misprint. Did I have a misprint on mine before I said it on Friday? It might, I'll double check.
I thought it
I'll
did.
send it might have,
It does, it does.
in the past it was 6 o'clock. I was using past things.
Yeah.
Is it because they're starting here, they want to start earlier?
It's fine,
School night?
yes.
So,
Little 40 senior, that's all I have.
Got a question?
Sure.
When you were at the round table, what were some of the indications with the new Every Child Achieves Act compared to No Child Left Behind? No Child Left Behind had ridiculous unattainable goals set.
Well, this allows school districts to kind of shape their goals a little bit. They're more realistic opposed to some of the stuff that's
Yeah.
passed down. The federal one was passed down first.
Because I thought it was
When
child
we first started, we had, every child's gonna graduate high school, 100% graduation rate, all that stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Marinucci? Moving along to the principal reports, does anybody have any questions for either principals here? No? Nurses report, buildings and ground report, and special education report is also, any questions there? Did you have a question on the report? No? Okay. Mr. Iannucci already mentioned the Founder's Day dinner. Anything else? Oh, I did want to mention, the basket auction is coming up. I mentioned that briefly at the end. We want to do something again as a board, so I didn't think I would be here this evening. My meeting got done early, so we'll come, next month, if we can come prepared, we'll come up with a theme and do something nice for the PTA. Anything else to add? No?
Do you have anything at home you like to
Mhm.
do any spring cleaning?
Yes.
There's gifts that you never re-give to. Take them.
Send them in April 29.
Just send them into one of the schools.
Might be used.
No.
No, it's not letting them use, they're not open.
You would. Any, Chaz and Patty, I know you had attended something really interesting under committee reports. You want to talk about that, please?
Sure. Patty and I last week attended a 3-hour workshop on alternative funding and sustainable schools, green schools. And I submitted to all the board members and the administration. I also have a copy for our principals that are here and our supervisor of buildings and grounds. Out of the 600 plus school districts in New Jersey, over 150 are already moving in that direction, and I think it was about 60 of them have earned certifications in that area. There's a lot you can do, such as replacing the windows, that makes it more efficient. But some other things that, and everything costs, but it equates to a savings over time. Some examples that they gave is if you were to put in LED lighting rather than fluorescent lights. LED lighting is more expensive to purchase, but it uses 40% less electricity. Over a period of time, a short period of time, and most schools are auditing it, they recoup that within 1 to 2 years, that extra cost. And then from there on, you're saving 40% in your electric bill. By putting sensors, motion sensors in every office and every classroom, once people leave and there's no motion, they're on timers. You can set 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they go off, and in case somebody forgot to turn lights on. Or in the bathrooms, where people aren't in the bathroom all the time, those lights go off. You can put in sensors that control the heating in every single room in every building, which does the same thing. The building that we were in, the U.S. Armory in Lakeland, is completely green. Everything about it is green. It's unbelievable how efficient that is. And one of the statistics that they pointed out was the corporation that does the most to preserve our resources in the world of any major corporation is the United States Army. They're the most efficient corporation in the world as far as water, fueling, any kind of energy, and waste materials. The last thing one of the things they pointed out that's a simple step that a school district can take is to eliminate the purchase of water bottles and instead go to water stations with cups. They pointed out that 2 of the major bottling companies, Poland Springs and Dasani, the water doesn't come from spring water in the ground, it comes from faucets. And you're paying about $2 for a bottle of water, and if you have watering stations with paper cups, it's costing less than 5 cents to drink the same amount of water. So those are the kind of steps. And if you eliminate buying bottles, you can eliminate as much waste pickup at your school district over the course of the year, which reduce costs. So there are many things that you can do, and what Patty and I did was we just put together here just a summary of the workshop for us to look at, and I know Patty's been working on this longer than me, and I know we have an administrative team and a teaching team that would support this, because then it gives us money to put in for more professional development, computers, other things that we can use in the school system. You also can go, there are a number of agencies in New Jersey that provide free services that will come in and help you audit to show you where you can save money, whether it's through the purchase of fuel, your water bills, your electric bills, whatever, and they'll come out and do that for free. So it was an interesting program. Do those changes cost some money? Yes, but not major significant money. unless you're gonna go with a solar system, putting in solar panels, yeah, that is extremely costly, and that takes much longer to recoup, 15, 20 years to recoup your investment.
But they also said if you did do solar, that after the 15-year warranty on the solar panels, they'll try and sell them to you dirt cheap because they still have like 10 to 15 more years left on them, but they can't reuse them. So therefore, that would be, you would be getting them almost free. Plus, if anybody that hasn't seen it, on YouTube, there is a presentation, it's called, there's lots of presentations about the story of stuff, but there's a story of stuff bottled water. You have to see it, it's good.
In 1 week, around the world, humans use enough bottles, whether it's soda, water, juice, that it can go around the entire earth 5 times. Outside the United States, most other countries do not dispose of them properly. In America, we recycle the vast majority of these plastic bottles. In many other countries, they bury them in the ground. They're not biodegradable. They pollute the soil for life.
Thank you. I know that I talked to Patty this weekend, she said it was very interesting.
Very.
And there's a PowerPoint that was there, you said?
Yes.
Yes.
That you
Sean
could-
has PowerPoint.
Yeah, that you could maybe send out to the board, thank you. Sorry, I was going ahead. So do you have anything for negotiations?
Progress, we've been meeting, and we are scheduled for 2 additional meetings on March 7th and March 16th.
Awesome. Anyone else have anything to update the board on? No? All right. So then we will go to new business. I need a motion to approve items number 1 and 2, facility use and field trips under property and transportation. Motion made by Chaz, seconded by Naomi. So it just looked like there's some date changes there, a few things added. Any questions?
I just have a real quick question. You know the girl, and I know this from you, because my mom was in that, our kids are back, girlfriend of moms, and kids about that. Is there like something that goes on with all kinds of things? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
These girls and boys nights, it's girls and moms and boys with dads. Not all families in that,
I know sometimes.
are we excluding people?
We switch it up every year.
No. The nurses, girls night out with moms and boys night out on puberty, hygiene.
I know
things
some,
like that.
some of the families that might not have that situation, a representative, might be a family.
That's what I'm saying, like, are we including on that information that goes out?
I might bring, not only my daughter, I might bring someone else's daughter with me or something like that. We've always-
That's on her paper, you're saying.
Yeah,
That's what I was asking.
we've never excluded anybody if they don't have that.
I know that some kids don't necessarily know how to explain that they don't have that situation, so I was just, it's hard.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckon?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Impagliazzo? Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding?
Yes.
Motion passes.
You know what, real quick,
Go ahead.
Mr. Hines is new, spring soccer, huge help, because years of experience with this. Trash cans need to be out there.
They've been out there all day, we drilled holes and
Awesome.
they stayed out there. Mr. Keeley notified me we're having a problem with the geese, that's why you see the pallets.
Nice.
Haven't been any geese on the field since we put them out.
You're in
Hopefully
for a
this
big.
spring, we're gonna get some grass seed, we'll see.
No, that's awesome. I just know, as the former president, that we
Yeah.
never had trash cans, so we had bags tied to the fence.
Coming from a larger district, sports is like one of their top priorities.
Gotcha.
So to me, it's one of the important
Okay.
things.
I just want to prepare, because he's new, and, last year that wasn't here, and it was always an issue, so, thank you. Much thanks.
Thank you. Under personnel, I need a motion to approve items number 1 through 6.
I'd like to make a motion to approve other personnel items 1 through 6.
Thank you, Naomi. Motion made by Naomi, seconded by Maria. Any questions? Roll call.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckon?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Impagliazzo? Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving along to finance, I need a motion to, before we make a motion and approve this though, well, actually, we can make a motion. I need a motion to approve items number 1 through 6.
I make a motion to approve items 1 through 6.
Maria makes the motion. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Chaz. Does anyone else know right now who's going to attend that 8th grade dialogue and dinner? Patty. I have Angel, I have Chaz, I have Naomi. Okay, Patty, you want to come?
Yeah.
What day is that on?
That is next Wednesday, 6 to 9. Maria would like to come? Oh, yes, 2 Wednesdays. You'll have to all excuse me.
No, that's Wednesday.
Yeah.
If I
And we're
can
away.
make it, if I can make it, I will let you know as soon as it takes full spot. If I can make it.
So I just want to add there, when we approve this, it's going to be Angel, Chaz, Naomi, Patty, and Maria at this time. Thank you. Roll call, yes.
I also sent out email to the borough, mayor and council about that.
Well, was there an RSVP date? I mean,
Yeah,
did
when
you,
you want to find one, because I.
well, hold on, but can you do me a favor and let them handle that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let them handle that, please.
Okay.
So, roll call.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckon?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Impagliazzo? Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding? Motion passes.
Under curriculum, I need a motion to approve items number 1 through 5.
I make a motion to approve items 1 through 5.
Motion made by Maria,
I'll second it.
seconded by Patty. Sorry, Angel. You were too quiet tonight. I have a question. This is probably a stupid question, but I looked, the HIP report,
Yes.
was that attached?
Yes.
All right, if it's attached, I have no other questions. Roll call.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckon?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Impagliazzo?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under policies and public relations, I need a motion to approve items number 1 and 2.
I'll make a motion to approve items 1 and 2 on the policy.
Thank you, Patty.
A second.
Seconded by Maria. Thank you, Ms. Hubbard, for doing some Autism Awareness Month activities. And it looks like there's only 1 new policy, just the rest are being revised. Any questions? Roll call.
Ms. Adair?
Yes.
Ms. Beebe?
Yes.
Mr. Buckon?
Yes.
Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Impagliazzo?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Ms. Spalding?
Yes.
Motion passes.
At this, go ahead. At this time, we're open for any questions from the public. No questions at this time? At this time, I need to have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll leave that motion.
Motion made by Chaz,
Second it.
seconded by Angel.
Sorry. I'm reading at the same time. I'm trying to do that.
Whereas the Senator Byron M. Bayer Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12, requires all meetings of the Runnemede School District Board of Education to be held in public, NJSA 10:4-12B sets forth 9 types of matters that may lawfully be discussed in executive session without the public being permitted to attend. And whereas the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education has deemed it necessary to go into closed session to discuss certain matters which are exempted from the public, and whereas the 9 exemptions to public meetings set forth in NJSA 10:4-12B are listed below, and next to each exception is a box within which the numbers of issues we privately discussed that fall within the exception shall be written. And after each exception is a space where additional information that will disclose as much information about the decision as possible without undermining the purpose of the exception shall be written. Now therefore be it resolved that the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education will go into closed session for the following reasons as outlined in NJSA 10:4-12B. Any matter involving the employment, appointment, termination of employment, terms and conditions of employment, evaluation of the performance, promotion or discipline of any specific prospective public officer or employee, or current public officer or employee, employed or appointed by the public body. Unless all individuals, employees, or appointees whose right could be adversely affected request in writing that such matter or matters be discussed at a public meeting. More specifically, we will be discussing personnel matters. Whereas the length of the executive session is undetermined, however, the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education will make every attempt to estimate the time of session prior to reconvening the session, after which a public meeting shall reconvene in about 15 minutes, and the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education will proceed with business. Now therefore be it resolved that the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education will go into executive session for only the above stated reasons. Be it further resolved that the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education hereby declares that its discussion of the aforementioned subject may be made public at a time when the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education attorney advises that the disclosure of the discussion will not detrimentally affect any right, interest, or duty of the school district or any other entity with respect to said discussion. Be it further resolved that the Runnemede Public School District Board of Education, for the aforementioned reasons, hereby declares that the public is excluded from the portion of this meeting during which the above discussion shall take place, and hereby directs the board secretary to take the appropriate action to effectuate the terms of this resolution. Be it further resolved that the board secretary on the next business day following this meeting shall furnish a copy of this resolution to any member of the public who requests one at the fees allowed by NJSA 47:1A-1. Action on any item may or may not be taken in open session at the conclusion of the executive session. All in favor for executive session? Reminder that there's a personnel committee meeting at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, the 15th. Regular Board of Education meeting is also at 7 p.m. The council meeting is March 1st. I said I can attend that on a Tuesday evening. Monday, March 7th, there's a negotiations meeting. Wednesday, March 9th is the 8th grade dialogue. Wednesday, March 9th is also the planning and zoning meeting. We're gonna have to skip that because we have something more important.
And there's really nothing on their agenda.
Okay. And then the 15th again, we're a week early. Oh wait, why did I say the 15th here and the 16th here?
I'm sorry, where are you?
I'm on the agenda and then I'm on the,
Oh, sorry, that should be switched.
what is it?
It should be the Wednesday, it should be Tuesday, March 15th.
Tuesday, March 15th.
Oh, yeah, the dates are a little off.
We'll send you out a fresh copy tomorrow.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Maria, seconded by Patty, all in favor? Ayes have it, meeting is adjourned. What time, Joe? 7:59.